Hey everyone, and welcome to another development log for Blink. I think this week's going to be pretty busy, both stuff going on at work and with stuff I got going on at home with Kate. So I'm not going to try to scope in too much. The main thing that I do want to try and implement is some kind of pickup for the player character. So my basic idea for the pickup is adding an object somewhere on the screen that you fly towards, and if you touch it, you'll pick it up and add some value to your score. I don't just want to spawn these willy-nilly. I think it'd be cool if they were a reward for a perfect circle fill, which is when you fill a circle and see that blue explosion. So what I will do when you get a perfect circle fill is spawn something at a random location on the screen, have it just appear for a few seconds, giving the opportunity to the player to fly over, grab it, and then keep going with the game. I think that'll introduce a fun kind of risk-reward mechanic, and yeah, I'm excited to get started on it. It was a long day at work today, so the only task I'm going to ask of myself tonight is to complete the pixel art for this little pickup, which will probably literally just consist of like 6 pixels in a circle or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's probably going to take place on the porch and probably going to take place while I'm drinking a beer. So let's go do that. I feel like I can do better than this. Well, I spent longer than I'd care to admit to arrive at this, but I think it'll do for now. I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the pickup implementation using this as placeholder art, but I do want to improve it. If you guys can think of anything that kind of thematically fits better with a forest and nighttime and fireflies than some random blue circle, please leave a comment. That'd be great to hear and should be easy to implement, just a different sprite once I get the rest of this stuff working. That might actually do it for Blink tonight. I spent some time this past weekend working on a Unity Git tutorial that I'm excited to wrap up and post, so I might do that tonight and then just kind of relax for a little bit. Anyway, I'll catch up with y'all soon. What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday afternoon, just after work, and I don't know if I'll be doing a lot of development today, but I do have a pretty cool quick update for you guys. If we come over here, we'll see a small, old Samsung Android tablet, and of course you see Blink running on there. This is an old tablet that I kind of forgot that Kate had, and today for the first time after work I tried to actually get Blink running on it, and that was no problem at all. It doesn't run very well. You can see it's not very smooth. If I play it, it's not too bad. Still certainly playable, although it's just not as smooth as like on my iPhone XS or my iPad Pro. Of course, those are pretty new devices, but anyway, this is a big moment for me because I've never actually built anything to an Android device before. It was super easy, so it gives me a lot of confidence going forward that this is going to work on both platforms. That'll wrap up this update. I have no idea if I'll do any more development later, but I'll let you guys know. Welcome back, everybody. It is Wednesday around 6 a.m. and this morning's task is to implement my pickup art that we worked on into Unity and start coding up the pickup functionality. Let's do it. Well, it's just past 7 now, and I've spent an hour doing something totally different than what I had planned. I thought I had this great idea that, instead of using the blue circle art, I could just use these fireflies that are already blinking in the background. So when you went and touched those fireflies, you'd hear a sound, you'd get an extra point, and as you got more perfect circle fills, the scene would fill up with more of those fireflies. And I think that was a good idea, but just because these fireflies are so small and they look like a bunch of the other particle effects, you can't really tell what's happening when you collide with them, and I don't think it's a great experience. So I think I'm going to scrap that and go back to my idea of just using that blue circle or pickup art that I created and run with that. We'll see how that turns out. Alright, so I've got the basics of my blue pickup implemented, and it is super fun. I wish I had just tried this first this morning rather than my other silly idea. But anyway, when you hit the perfect circle fill, you see the blue explosion, and you see this little blue rotating thing appear. So I think it's pretty clear that that's a reward for your blue perfect explosion. When you go over and pick it up, it triggers the next audio sound in your fill progression, which I think is very, very satisfying. So if you string a bunch of those together quickly, you can reach the crescendo of that kind of 8-note progression really quickly. I think it's just very satisfying, and of course you get more points when you do it. If you're stringing together a bunch of perfect circle fills and picking up a bunch of the pickups, you just ascend through that chord progression. It sounds really cool, and I think it's a very rewarding experience for the player. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. That'll do it for this morning. Catch up soon. Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday morning, bright and early as always, and today we're going to have a little bit of a shorter coding session. Got to get into work early because I'll be leaving early to visit my family for the weekend for Mother's Day. So for this morning, the first thing I'm going to do is finish up implementing pickups. I think I'm like 99% of the way there. I just need to consider what happens when the game is over and there's still a pickup shown on the screen. So I'm going to wrap that up. I also have a few gameplay tweaks I want to make. I want to shorten the intermissions. I think they're a little bit long. I want to remove the lighting effects of the little fireflies blinking in the background to see if that improves performance on the old Android device. And finally, I need to fix my rain implementation. So I made this pretty well-received tutorial on creating rain effects in 2D games. And it turns out I'm not really even following some of my own best advice there. You might look at this and think, oh, that looks fine. But if we switch to 3D view, you might wonder, what the heck am I doing? I wonder the same thing. Got all those changes wrapped up pretty quickly, and the last thing I want to do this morning is build to my iPad. I'm actually really looking forward to trying to play with the little pickups that we implemented because those were a lot of fun on PC. I've now built it to my iPad and happy to report that everything's running great. I think all the changes we made this week were positive, especially the pickup items. That just adds a lot of fun to the game, surprisingly, so I'm really happy we spent the time to do that. Thanks for joining me this week. I feel like I had hardly any time to development, just had a bunch of stuff on my schedule, but here on Friday we've still ended up with a lot of great progress, which is an awesome feeling. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments if you have any suggestions or thoughts about the video, and apart from that, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next week.